Thanks for tuning into Bozo Bank of the Week. I'm your host, Nick Shivers, and today we have a special program. We're going to talk about the saving grace for foreclosures called the new HAFA program. It's the brother to the HAMP program, and we'll talk a little bit about the differences. I'm here with my cohort, Troy Thurman, the head of our loss mitigation department. He helps a ton of homeowners, and he is the guru of all these new programs, the ins and outs. Again, I know he's not anything special to look at, but that's why we have myself on camera. They call us the beauty, me, and the beast. So, Troy, tell us a little bit about the new HAFA program.
The HAFA program is an extension of the HAMP program from the Making Home Affordable, President Obama's plan. So it stands for Home Affordable Foreclosure Alternatives. And what it's designed to do is to try to add something for people who can't qualify for modifications. So it's supposed to take care of those people and give them another alternative.
So like the modifications, Troy, that they were hoping to help hundreds of thousands of people that really they've only did like, what is it, 3% of anybody that tried to get a modification has been approved. That great program that was supposed to save our country.
Exactly.
That program that our government gave millions and millions and millions of dollars to these banks in order for them to help homeowners.
Exactly.
So we got another one of these programs that we're going to talk a little bit about the good parts, because yes, I think there are a few good parts to this program. But one thing that I want to tell you, this isn't, the banks don't have to do this. This is a voluntary program, correct?
Correct. It always boils down to whether it makes sense for the investor who owns the note.
Okay.
There's always that clause in here. So even though there's some guidelines that they're supposed to follow and there's some pressure by the government to follow these guidelines, they do have to communicate a little bit better and let people get answers a little bit sooner. But at the end of the day, it's really the investor's decision whether to go forward with the program or not.
Okay, so Troy, let's talk a little bit about what are some of the good aspects of the new HAFA program?
Well, the good aspects is that at least there's something out there to try to help people that cannot qualify for loan modifications. So they basically instituted this plan. It's supposed to allow them to short sale their property. The good thing about it is that hopefully, according to what I've read, the banks and investors will determine what they will accept for a property, i.e. like a listing price or a net amount that they will take, and certain terms of pre-approved sale, like closing costs and realtor commissions. So they package that up in a statement which is called a short sale agreement, and they issue that out to the realtor and tell them what they will accept on the property. Once they do that, it locks the bank into accepting offers based on those terms for 120 days.
Right. So again, what that boil it down to is now a short sale would be a pre-approved short sale. So the agent could go out there. Let's say we get a pre-approved short sale for $200,000. The agent goes out there, lists it for $200,000. And if they get an offer, it's already approved. So the time frame, if it's approved through this program, would be significantly reduced. Like a lot of people, we've done hundreds of short sales, and the biggest problem is by the time the bank responds, a lot of times the buyers are gone. So this would allow for a short sale to get done is like any other traditional transaction.
Correct. And then after that offer is presented to the bank, they have to respond now within 10 days.
10 days. Good luck on that one, I would have to say, but at least we have some documentation. 10 days. Troy, what are some other aspects? One of the aspects that I liked about the program, if the investor agrees to go into the program, which again, the same thing with the HAMP program, they had to agree, and as we all know, 3% is kind of what they've agreed to, 3% of all inquiries. But one thing is, if the bank agrees, they can't seek any deficiencies. Is that correct?
That's correct. If they approve it based on this program, the bank cannot seek a deficiency judgment from the sellers.
Right. So that's fabulous, specifically for our Bozo Bank of the Year, Bank of America. they would never put in their approval letters that they would not seek a deficiency judgment. And remember, they have a 6-year window. If someone does, unless in the state there's some laws that prohibits them from doing that, they'll still try to do it. Trust me. But if there wasn't any laws, if this program gets approved by the bank, then they agree not to seek any deficiencies. Any other goods to this program, Troy?
Good things is they're offering incentives to the seller for moving expenses of $3,000. They're offering incentives to the investors who own the notes. If they are willing to contribute money to any second mortgages, any second liens, or even third liens that are on the property, they can contribute. There's a limit up to $6,000. If they contribute the full $6,000, they can get $2,000 credit. So it's a 1 for $3, turn. So there's a few built-in incentives. Make your own assumption on whether that's really going to incentivize the seconds or not. And basically that's really it. It's the pre-approved short sales and the response times that the banks have to do. I would say that's the number one thing, is hopefully getting them to turn these quicker.
Right. And again, it helps homeowners. They get a little money. Now, let's talk about the biggest downfall that I see. And Troy, jump in anytime. The biggest downfall is this. These investors are already getting up to $6,000, a lot of times 5 or 6, and they're still denying the short sale. Because why? Because they can. And again, they don't have to do this program. So the biggest thing is, I don't see this really helping when there's 2 loans on the property, because I don't see the seconds releasing for $6,000 all the time.
No, the program doesn't address any rules for second and third liens or any subordinate liens. It's only a program designed to deal with firsts. They leave the seconds and thirds up for negotiation just like it was before. The incentive for the investor to give $6,000 and get $2,000 back. There's some more little details with that. It's 6% that can go towards the outstanding balance of the second lien holder. But when it really comes down to it, you're telling the investor to give up $6,000 to get $2,000 back. I don't think that's really going to change any of the dynamics that we already face in the market.
So again, the issue with the seconds is kind of unaddressed. So it doesn't solve the biggest problems in short sales. Remember, we get first, if there's only one loan on a deal, we can always, almost 90% of the time, get those deals done. It's the seconds that are always holding them up. And a lot of times they're getting more than $6,000 right now. So again, that's a big gap in the program. So whoever was sitting around the table talking about short sales obviously didn't know a lot about them and what the seconds were doing, like hijacking transactions, trying to get agents to pay them, so forth and so on. So Troy, let's kind of go over qualifications. Tell our viewers, what are the qualifications to be approved in this program?
Number one thing is it has to be a primary residence, and they have to have occupied the property within the previous 90 days before the sale. So it really has to be a traditional owner-occupied property. Number two, they have to pass the modification program, the HAMP program's income test, just the first income test, rule of thumb kind of a thing. That is their mortgage payment with taxes and insurance and any HOA dues. This is only the first mortgage, has to be greater than 31% of their gross income. So that's the second qualification. As far as a seller goes, that's it. Those 2 qualifications, and they should be accepted into the program if the bank is doing the program.
If the bank agrees to the program,
to it, yeah.
Just like the HAMP program.
Which they always are. It's always up to the bank's discretion. Every rule, everything written, every pressure that's being put on the banks to do this program. At the end of the day, like I said, it's their call whether it makes sense for them.
And Troy, do you believe that the bank's looking out for the homeowner's best interest here?
No, I don't, because I've been told by bank members that they're not.
Right. So. And again, setting with HAFA official. Basically, they were telling us on the seconds that the seconds are going to continue to try to get additional fees from real estate agents, saying, hey, you're going to have to give us some of your fees, and just out and out lies and stuff. So again, will this help a little bit? Absolutely, and something's better than nothing. But overall, I don't think this program is going to be the saving grace like the media portrays right now. So again, we're just trying to keep it real for you. Again, this is Nick Shivers with Bozo Bank of the Week. And remember, don't give up the fight.